Ed is a 43-year-old electrical technician who for nearly 20 years has been struggling with symptoms of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Obsessive symptoms include disturbing thoughts about horrific behavior and possible contamination. Compulsions are rituals of both thought and behavior that lead to checking and hand washing and serve to reduce anxiety. Ed, a parent and employed, gives a description of the kinds of thought patterns that someone with this disorder battles.
It was awful. At that time, when the OCD started to show itself, and of course at the time I didn't know what obsessive-compulsive disorder was, but when it started to show up, I had a lot of distressing thoughts.
Like what kinds of thoughts would be, to the extent you can want to talk about?
Yeah, I was a pretty religious person at that time, and the church and you know, God, of course, are still important things to me. But at that time, they were real important to me, and I was experiencing these thoughts and fears. You know, fear. I was. This gets into the area where OCD kind of getting into the church aspect of it. You talk about scruples, and that's basically another name for OCD when it revolves around religion.
Okay, scrupulosity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was afraid that because of having repulsive thoughts in church or about God or something, that I would go to hell, and that, of course, was
terrifying. I mean, that.
Oh, it's just.
That's the worst thing.
The primal fear of humankind, I think.
Yeah, of course.
And so.
Ed, while we're there, because I know this is not easy. What kind of a thought? I mean, could you? And I know you realize now that this was part of an illness.
Yeah.
But what kind of a thought would be so distressing to you?
Thoughts about the real big one was cursing at God, because I thought that would be what is sometimes known as the unpardonable sin.
Okay.
And
like you'd imagine yourself doing that, or wonder if you did it?
It was classic OCD. The idea of this would maybe enter my mind. I mean, I would be scared that it would happen, that I would have the thought. But of course, when I wasn't thinking about it, or you know, if my mind was on something else, of course I was okay. But maybe I'd be walking into church, and after living with this fear for a while, probably every time you walk into church, you say, I am not going to let this thought come into my mind. And so you decide to fight it, but the compulsive part of the OCD kicks in, and you get a compulsion to repeat the words or whatever, or the thought, the picture, whether the thought is a word or a picture. You get a compulsion to just let that run through. And it's like any other OCD compulsion, at least for me, and I know for a lot of people I know that have a fairly severe case of it, it really is irresistible.